Welcome to the Polytopian Interviewer, where I interview people on their experiences and views on the Polytopia Discord community. I have Sophiacastle with me today. First question, how did you first get into the Polytopia Discord?
I joined in, I think it was June, maybe July 2019. They had the summer skirmish, and I had just found out about the game and been playing it for maybe a week or two. So I joined the Discord and got involved in the summer skirmish. Did terribly, but then I started looking around the Discord, starting to talk on all the things and discover the different groups. And I ended up joining Aquarian because it was the first tribe I think I bought. Yeah, that was what I was interested in.
I was in the summer skirmish as well. I just had no idea how to do any of my games. So at least you played games.
Yeah. I had played not like multiplayer at that point, I think. It was just against bots. And then I started doing the summer skirmish and had no idea how different it was. It was fun to watch other people or hear about other people playing too, though.
You've been a tribe leader on Polytopia Main before. What were some of your tasks and responsibilities with that?
I was only tribe leader during the last round before they got rid of it. It was kind of cut off for me. I only had a month and a half, I think. But if the Aquarian tribe were interested in contests, we had a joint contest with IMO. It wasn't much other than I might announce something. I had some people in Aquarian and also in just random different chats. Because I had the tribe leader role, they would ask me questions about the challenges in the challenges section or games. It's kind of like a leadership role. They expected me to know things, and I guess I did. I'd been around for a while at that point, about maybe 6 months. I did have answers to their questions, but the only reason that they thought that was because I was a tribe leader, which was interesting.
Mm-hmm.
And then it got cut off because they switched the system recently. No more of that.
Yep. What do you all do on Main now?
I don't know, I just see them around, and it wasn't much different talking to other tribe leaders, even while we were all having that role. There's a private tribe leader chat that you get access to, and also all the mods and everything have access, so sometimes there's just more interesting conversations there that don't have spam or whatever. We just have those conversations in the other chats now. It's just not one space where they're all there. It's not much different. The tribe leaders didn't do much towards the end anyway. I heard before, back when they were appointed by the mods and admins, they actually had more responsibilities. But before the end of it, tribe leaders didn't do much other than have that special name. It wasn't too much of a change going back to just being normal people.
Well, not everybody welcomes new members, though.
That's true. Oh, I guess it is a lot of people who are tribe leaders who are the welcomers. Actually, recently I haven't been on Polytopia Main that much, and all I've been doing is going onto the new members channel and just welcoming people every time I go on Discord.
That's cool.
If I'm not able to talk about other stuff.
So you hang around general when you have time, then?
Oh, I used to. I think right after the tribe leaders roles were finished, I was interested in just talking to people more, so I was in general a ton. My messages count went up double they would normally. Recently, school and stuff has been busy, so I haven't been on there. General is a very strange place.
Yeah.
It's not the best place to go for people who are new to the Discord. Even though you think, okay, yeah, go to general, that's where everyone talks. It's just so bizarre.
Yeah.
You have people saying literally anything there. When I was there was a lot of furry talk. I don't know if that's still happening. I assume it is, because like the same people are there. Or just like joking about it, or accusing people, and other stuff too. But it's always a bizarre thing to go into general in Polytopia. I don't think it's the same in other places. if you were to just go into there without expecting anything and you think, okay, just be normal conversation, it's really strange.
As of recording, the Polytopia main has about 27,000 members.
Yeah. A lot of people who might wander into general. It's not actually that busy sometimes, though. Even with all those players, I think a lot of them are just people who go to the multiplayer system and then just don't talk at all. Because with 27,000 members, there's not that many of them who actually talk in other chats. Like, you see the same maybe 50 people everywhere.
Yeah. So the reason why you
Anyway,
joined Aquarian was because it was your first tribe you bought?
Yeah, it was the first tribe that I bought, and I was interested because of the water theme of it, and the colors and everything. The other ones definitely were cool looking too, especially Polaris, because that was the newest one before Semanti. I joined Aquarian and I stayed because the few people there who do talk, not as much as, say, IMO. I've discovered that IMO is super active, but Aquarian's still up there, and the people there are nice, and the Aquazine was also something that kind of made me stay, because I ended up joining in a role on the Aquazine because I was interested in writing stuff. And that kind of gave me more chances to talk to people there, to look at the Discord in general. Just because as someone who's trying to search for information, you have to go through the different channels, talk to people, ask questions. And that kind of was one of the reasons I pretty much stayed. I don't think I would have otherwise if it weren't for the Aquarian tribe and the people talking to there.
What do you all do in the crab cult besides research for the Aquazine?
So in the general chat, when I first started, it was kind of in a lull, because sometimes people would talk in general, and sometimes people would do roleplay. There's roleplay sections in the tribe server, and they have different roles. You had to sign up with a character. They had a bunch of different channels meant for different roleplaying. But recently, that became way more active because a couple of people were interested in doing it. One of them was tribe leader with me in the last election period, Jay Kenny. Him and a few others are really into role playing on the server. Now they've made a new section for it, and it's a lot more active. I don't look at the role play because I'm not personally interested in that, but they've had many interesting conversations and events happening in the roleplay server. I think it's a reason a lot of people joined that server as well, is just to either watch the roleplay or be a part of it, which is very interesting. But other than the roleplay, it's not that active. People just kind of come in to say hi, be silent for a couple days, except for one long conversation between two people, and then it'll go back to being silent for days. A couple of the other mods started a tournament of some sort. I'm not in that either, but it's like Polytopia tournament. They kind of like Summer Skirmish, but on a mini scale, having competitions or battles to see who's going to be the winner of that whole competition. That's also something that's been going on. So even without tribe leaders, there's different people are stepping up to do activities, which is actually kind of nice.
For the Aquazine, do you usually focus on research, or what do you do?
At the beginning, it was more of just writing and making sure that it was all smooth. It was me and the owner of the Aquarian server, Tamaris. Mostly, he did the research and most of the writing before, and then I took on more of that, actually going out and interviewing people. So that was back in up until maybe December, but because both of us, who are the main ones working on the Aquazine, have university, it's kind of gone dead recently, and I apologize to everyone for that. That's how it's been going so far. It might be nice if someone else would be interested in taking it up, but it's part motivation and part availability.
Mm-hmm. I heard from some sources that the Aquazine changed to every few months. Is that still true?
Yeah, we were thinking of making it an online thing where people would send articles in wherever they want. That's actually what we said in our most recent article, that we were going to switch to an online thing, much like the IMO times. But because there wasn't as much individual interest in writing full article and uploading it, everyone there isn't really interested in writing articles. We don't have very much planned right now. But we hope to maybe come back at some point if there's enough interest. I can't make any promises, and Tamara has said the same thing. Can't
Mm-hmm.
make any promises about when the Aquazine will be coming back, unfortunately.
What got you into Polychamps?
After the summer skirmish, I kind of got into doing ELO as well, and I did the games very slowly, but I eventually got up to some point where I think I got sent an automatic bot message, DM, saying, "You've gotten to this ELO point, you should join Polychamps."
Mm-hmm.
And so I did. I've been hearing about it since I joined the Discord, but I wasn't interested in doing a formal game scenario because that's a time commitment, there's extra stuff. It's like I wasn't interested in being competitive. I joined the server and started doing some games, and I really enjoyed the different way of playing, because in regular games, you're kind of on your own. You just have to fend for yourself in the scenarios that you're in. And maybe in ELO, you'll have team games, but those are so unreliable because you're matching with random people. They can drop out at any point.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe they'll time out for days and just disappear. Or maybe they'll be there, but they're not very good. Or they'll completely forget you're on a team and start just attacking you, which defeats the purpose. So Polychamps is a lot more organized, and it's full of people who are actually motivated to play the game properly, I would say. Or at least play team games properly.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate with other teammates. Like, their whole system is that before you can even join one of the teams, they have to see if you're good at communicating. They'll choose the people who are best at actually talking and making things clear with your partners. I ended up joining a team because I was really into saying every screenshot, because you have to send screenshots of your screen because they don't have any sort of
Mm-hmm.
team option on the game so far. I really hope that's something they'll add in the future, being able to have team games, maybe having vision of what your other team can see as well. That would be super interesting. Also kind of difficult to implement, but so far you have to screenshot every single turn, tell your partner what you're doing, because figure out and negotiate how each of your tribe's abilities to your advantage in the game. Say one person will attack the team one turn, and then the next person will do it right after, things like that. Very interesting.
Why did you get traded to the Wildfire right after you got drafted by the Bombers?
Before getting drafted, I was getting recruited by both of those teams. So they both messaged me separately and offered to do some trial games. I encountered the Bombers first, and I did some trial games on their server. They have a section for that. So I was talking to them more, and then the Wildfire reached out a little closer to the drafting date and also did some games with me. I had also more interest in the Wildfire because of the way they played. I don't know if they're still doing it, but they had these coaching games on Polychampions that basically were meant to show newer members how to play, how to send screenshots, how to discuss things with your teammates, and coordinate with them. So I was watching that game and looking at the Wildfire team and interested in their organization. They had these sheets to help you map out the entire game and organize things. So it made it a lot easier for coordinating with your teammates if you could see exactly how far they were away from you and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
basically that visual strategizing instead of just texting everything. I had expressed interest in that. I think I messaged one of the Wildfire before. You seem to be interested in doing that style of play, so would you want to join our teams? Closer to the date, one of them asked me, it might have been the Bombers. I was talking to DoorMatt, I think. Could be wrong. One of the Bombers was asking me who else I had been talking to, and I said, okay, the Wildfire. They must have talked to each other and came to an agreement that the Bombers were going to draft me, but then immediately trade with the Wildfire for some other payoff, the FATs. So they organized that themselves. I was like, I could be on either team, but I kind of preferred Wildfire, so they came to an agreement that was beneficial for both of them.
You're in the Polytopian art gallery as well.
That's one of the servers where I don't really participate in. I just kind of go in to look at what other people are doing. I don't think I've sent any message in there for many months, but it's really cool because they have all of the different art. On main, they have those sections for sharing art, but there's only a few of them. There's more of them now, but it's more in focus in this channel, so people can share more of them, and you're actually able to see them all without it being flooded with random messages and things. So it's really just fun to look through all the ways people are creative on that server. I don't really participate myself, not much of an artist, really. Although, it's weird to say that, because I think it was in January they had one of those art contests they do every month for the tribe leaders. And I actually ended up winning that contest that month because it wasn't for art. I didn't draw. I got away with not drawing by doing a Minecraft structure, which I don't consider drawing. It's like a different kind of art because you have to still make it look nice. I made a replica of the Aquarian Grand Bazaar. You can search up what that looks like. It was in announcements, I think.
I believe I remember seeing that.
It was half underwater because Aquarian isn't water tribe. I replicated it in Minecraft. I guess people liked how that looked, and I think I did a pretty good job of making it look like the Aquarian Bazaar. It did take a lot of effort, a lot of hours of planning and organizing. I ended up using that in the Polycraft, the Minecraft version of Polytopia.
Do you play in Polycraft?
Oh, yeah.
Or?
Yeah, I play in Polycraft. I joined that, I think, around the same time the tribe leaders ended. I was looking for something else to do because there wasn't really that responsibilities. And I had a break, so I joined Polycraft and played many hours and getting into it. It is super detailed. Polycraft has so many amazing structures that people are building there. And the themes all fit really well with their tribes in game. So it's awesome to just walk through all of those different places. I think I added to the Aquarian Polycraft the tribe location. The Grand Bazaar is a pretty big part of the land that they have in Aquarian, at least the one that's above the water that you can see. Now there's shops there, people can go there and buy things.
That's cool.
I don't know how much your podcast has talked about Polycraft so far. If anyone hasn't really been interested in looking at it and you have Minecraft, it's a really fun place, even just to go through and look at all the different places, even if you don't want to play.
Shall we move on to some general questions?
Sure.
Do you have a least favorite tribe?
Not off the top of my head. I don't have a hatred for any of them. Unlike Hudrick and Barter, whatever's happening there. If I had to choose one I don't really like, it would be Luxador, just based on the gameplay of the tribe and the way it's just basically pay to win. It has a lot of advantages just by being really rich at the start of the game, and it can basically adapt to any environment, which is super good for it, but it feels sometimes unfair to other tribes, which is probably just because I've gotten beaten by Luxador very often because I spawn next to it in team games or multiplayer games. So this is a personal problem with the tribe.
But you're fine with Bardur coming in with knights because they chopped a bunch of forests?
Yeah, because Barter is one of the starter tribes. Yes, it is a bit OP as well, but you do have to be good at the game to be able to use it well.
Mm-hmm.
Some people don't use Barter to its fullest extent. And if you're a good player at the game, then yes, you know how to use Barter, but I don't know, I don't feel as bad towards Barter because it's free. You don't have to pay. For me, it's like $5.50 for Lixidor, and Barter was free, so there's a little bit of a difference there.
Mm-hmm. Do you have a favorite unit?
The tridention. That's how I pronounce the Knight of the Aquarian tribe. Some people might pronounce that differently. I think it's a very fun unit to use when you get to it. If you get to it when you're Aquarian, before dying.
Mm-hmm.
I just like that range ability because it can shoot from a range and then also escape. Very fun to use when you use it right. And I love termelons, so they're the best animal. I might be biased in that, but they're
Just
the
a
best
bit.
animal.
Do you have a favorite strategy? Tridention spam?
I don't think if I play Aquarian, yes. But honestly, I don't actually play Aquarian that often against real players. I did have a really epic game recently. It was a random multiplayer game, or no, it was a ELO multiplayer, but it was Aquarian against Barter, and that's really hit or miss for Aquarian.
Mm-hmm.
But like the terrain, it was very split evenly halfway down between the two sides. So you had just one straight line down the middle of defense. But because I was able to get tridentions early enough, I kept killing their battleships before they could get to me. The way to do that very efficiently is you have to have some of the regular amphibians, the regular riders, as cannon fodder. Because the battleships, yeah, they can move really far, but not if you have a bunch of units in the way.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of a mix of tridention and amphibian spam. You have to put both of them all at the front, and that stops the battleships from moving. So they have to start hitting your weak units in order to move. But that kind of wastes the potential of a battleship because they're really strong, but if they can only hit one unit, they're not going to get through all of the units that you can throw at them.
Mm-hmm.
So it was a very interesting game. That's kind of a good strategy for Aquarion. For other tribes, there's not really one way to play it, even if you're using one tribe. With Aquarion, tridention spam might work when you have a lot of water, but in other cases, you can't really rely on a tridention in lakes or something with a lot of land.
Mm-hmm. How many games are you usually in at once?
Somewhere between 8 to 12 games. I'd say on average 10 games at once, but a lot of them will be casual games and not very consistent. But lately, because of the bugs that have been happening in the game, all of the games have been paused. So right now, I'm in maybe one active game.
They recently just unpaused for Polychamps, so that's good.
Yeah, they did. But people are still either aren't getting the memo or they just aren't playing their turn yet because I have not gotten any of my Polychamps game to my turn yet, even now.
Last question. What's your favorite part of the Polytopia fandom as a whole? That can be about the community or Discord or something in the game.
I would say I like the community. I like the fact that you can be as casual or as serious as you want to be in the game. And there's still a lot of people who are also doing that type of game play as well. There's some people in the Discord who are proud of the fact that they've either never played the game or just never play it anymore. They just go on to talk on Discord. And then you have others who are in Polychamps or those other leagues, and they'll be very intense in doing the games and stuff. I've seen people from both sides of that spectrum, and they're both interesting people who have a lot of things to talk about, regardless of how much they play the game. So I think it's great that this game has kind of that option. If you don't want to play, you can still do something and be part of the group. Oh, and all of the artists. I think a lot of artists don't play that much. They just do art because they like the lore part of Polytopia. And that's another valid and awesome way to be part of the community.
Mm-hmm. That's all the questions I had.
All right. That was very interesting. Kind of was going into the past for me because I haven't been doing very much recently.
All right, well, thanks very much for your time.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
Bye.
Bye.
As always, thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this, feel free to share it. For the text version, you can join my Discord in the description. I also have a YouTube channel where I play 1v1s and occasionally do tutorials. We'll be back next week. Bye!